There are probably more women living on the edge than any other marginalised group in the world. And when we think of people who want to change all that, we don't normally think of great Buddhist teachers or kung fu masters or nuns. But this is a film about all three. Kung Fu fighting. Fluid strength, focused power. A martial art closely linked to the Buddhist faith. Familiar from the movies, loved by young men the world over, Kung Fu is rare here in Ladakh, high in the Indian Himalayas. And these Kung Fu fighters, more unusual still. Not Buddhist monks, but nuns.
Kung Fu helps us concentrate when we meditate. That's why we are so keen on it. Secondly, it keeps us healthy and strong.
Kunzang and her friends belong to the Drukpa sect of Buddhism. Drukpa, or dragon. Nuns have been forbidden from performing Kung Fu for centuries. But 2 years ago, the Drukpa's leader lifted the ban.
There's two reasons why I started the Kung Fu. The first reason is, of course, to have a good health. The second thing that really provoked me to say that, or to introduce the Kung Fu to nuns, is that, you know, the nuns, they have to have a little bit of, how do you say, defense, you know, to protect themselves from the attack from the rest of the world.
Now the nuns had the chance of a new breakthrough. At this year's annual Drukpa Council, they'll have a historic opportunity. The catch, they have just 4 days left to prove they can take it.
In the upcoming council, the main activity to be performed by the nuns is the dragon dance. This dance has not been seen by the public here. It'll be the first dragon dance performed by the nuns in the world.
Set amidst the Jammu and Kashmir Himalayan mountains, the Shey Naro Photang nunnery is as modern as it's remote. Just 7 years old. But for Kunzang and her colleagues, it's a place of tradition. At dawn, they've already been praying since 3.
When I was a child, I was inclined towards spirituality. I couldn't see a lot of nuns around, but I had a wish to become a nun. I wanted to be a religious woman.
For a Buddhist nun, being religious comes from rigorous discipline. Their prayers to benefit all life. Their personal aim, with the benefit of Holy Scripture, to achieve enlightenment in one lifetime. Buddhism, a religion and way of life. Kunzang must perform over 110,000 prostrations in a month. And she's also tasked with ensuring all the Drukpa nuns do their duties too.
When I was in Nepal, my responsibilities were those of a geok, a deputy discipline master. Here in Ladakh too, I'm still a geok. And I'm also working hard, taking care and checking whether the nuns are coming on time or not for their tasks.
Prayers and meditation, 8 hours a day. The smoke prayer attracts wandering souls and releases them for rebirth. But the calm is a little deceptive. The nuns are racing time, painting the monastery red, preparing for the council. Wool has to be beaten for cushions and mattresses. Fabric needs to be fashioned into banners, flags and bunting. Deadlines, something new, and needing Kunzang's firm touch.
We have to complete this work by the 15th of July, although the council assembly itself won't take place until the 22nd of August.
But the biggest challenge, practicing the dragon dance. Same costume as Kung Fu, similar demands and skills. Kunzang taking the lead and telling the nuns, well, to hurry up.
Friends, come. The teacher's already there. Come quickly. Come on, the teacher is waiting.
The dragon dance evokes the very origins of the Drukpa lineage. 800 years ago, the first leader had a vision of 9 dragons flying into the blue sky. Dragons believed to bring good luck, if respected.
Is this really all right? Not really.
It's all right. Move along.
They're really trying.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. One by one.
But the dragon's a little too close to the ground.
Good job, everyone. What you did just now is good, but we still need to practice much more and do better.
Dragons can be made up of 50 dancers. Even with 10, coordinating's tough.
The most difficult step is to run along with the dragon. Since the dragon dance requires 10 people to move it, it becomes very difficult because all the 10 people have to move together at the same time.
Now, one.
Difficult enough moving the serpent-like body. But the dancers also need to take intricate cues from the drum beats to make the head move in sync. In Ladakh, it's always been thought nuns wouldn't be up to these complications. So what changed? The centuries-old Drukpa sect started holding an annual council just 2 years ago. With officers in 16 countries, followers come from across the world. For prayers, for discourses, and for a chance to hear from their leader. Buddhism has an image of being purely spiritual, but His Holiness has taken the Drukpas in a fresh direction. Under him, they've been united in believing they should engage with the world and give women equal opportunities.
My karma, I think, is that I have to really look after the nuns and women. So I'm always asking people to let the women to come in and join us, the practice. The earlier times, they don't have that much of respect. This is a kind of a culture that the woman comes second and the men are always the first. And that is maybe really the weakest point, I would say. And no matter whatever they do, they're always the second, they're always in the second. Up until now, still today, we are struggling with that. I'm struggling with that. From a point of view of Buddha's teaching, it is perfectly okay to put them together, the man and woman, the same level.
But there's one thing Kunzang can't control. Even as all that red paint is drying.
It's been raining a lot. And last night also it was raining heavily. The rain might have washed away the paint from the building.
So we'll stop working for now until the rain stops.
We can't stop working because there's so much that we still need to get done. See, there's lots we have to do. A lot of painting, cleaning.
We are not disturbed by the rain for now, but in case it rains heavily, we will stop.
Are you going to paint the windows too?
Yes, we have to paint the windows inside the hall and also the veranda.
And have you finished doing all the red bits?
No, we've just started the red painting 2 days ago and there is still so much to do.
We face a lot of difficulty because of the windy climate and the rain. I also asked my friend, Jigme Rigzin, how are we going to finish all the work with this kind of weather?
There's time for discipline and time for everyone to hang in the cafe. The nuns are concerned. Amid the dragon dance and the painting, Kung Fu not forgotten. The Kung Fu master with a lesson for the Drukpa nuns.
In practicing Kung Fu and boosting strength, usually men are able to do better because they are physically stronger. What you need is practice and determination. The women may not be quite as physically strong when compared to men, but if they practice a lot and put in some effort, there will be no difference between men and women.
The master's other lesson, Kung Fu and dragon dance, discipline and skill. He revisits some of the basics.
When you move the dragon left and right, which side do you move it to first?
You have to move it to the left side, along with your left leg.
When we move with the dragon, do we have to be close to each other or keep some distance?
You need to be close, but when you need to turn with the dragon, we need some space. You understand? The dragon must be flexible and lively.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
When we start practicing the dragon dance, we need to jump very high.
He seems a little worried.
In the dragon dance, you people are not doing very well. So you will have to practice a lot more and understand each other much better.
Is their Kung Fu master maybe kidding a little? It's hard to say.
1, 2, 3, hey!
The Drukpa nuns certainly take him seriously. Because what's at stake isn't just a dance. It's the Drukpa's mission to put women center stage. For the Drukpas, empowering women is one way of engaging with the outside world, unusual in Tibetan Buddhism. Back in March, and the nuns are running an eye clinic at Kathmandu in Nepal. They also help communities with schools, flood relief, tree planting, and lots more. Inside the clinic, preparing patients for an operation with skill, discipline, and humility.
There's a certain vows that you have to follow, which is also a little difficult for some people, because they have to have a little bit of I don't know, self. They have to have a self understanding and how important the path is, not the comfort. Your comfort is not the first priority. You know, the first priority is to help others.
Ladakh can seem a mystical landscape. Around the monastery, the white buildings hold buried prayers. Support for Kunzang's faith. Today, the nuns report to His Holiness.
Today, we will visit His Holiness and we will be able to tell him that everything is back on track. I was so worried before whether we would finish the work on time or not.
The meeting's close by at the Hemis Monastery, the biggest in Ladakh. Kunzang and her friends slightly in awe of the place. It's the Drukpa monks' annual festival of prayers and religious dances. Devotees have worshipped inside these sacred walls for 380 years. The masked dances are intended to bring spiritual well-being and health to everyone here, from tourists to His Holiness himself. The nuns watch. Tomorrow it'll be their turn back home. The dances commemorate Guru Padmasambhava, who subdued evil demons, turning them into protectors of Dharma, duty and goodness. For nuns to be allowed to perform such dances and music is nothing less than a small revolution here in this remote corner of the Himalayas.
In ancient times, nuns were not allowed to perform the masked dances or play religious instruments. But today we are free to participate in all activities because of His Holiness.
It's a remarkable change. Not so long ago, nuns would have been strictly forbidden, even from sitting next to the monks here. His Holiness has done more than let nuns dance. Usually, he teaches monks. What's different, he also teaches nuns in separate groups. Nobody can remember a master of Tibetan Buddhism ever doing this before.
The first step that I took is to teach by myself. Even the monks or even other nuns, even kind of educated nuns or monks, they also want to, now it's a time that they have to come back to nuns to learn something that they have learned from me. So it's a kind of a trick I'm playing, I would say, if I may say, you know, it's a kind of a trick that I'm playing so that the nuns automatically will have a little bit of better status.
I feel so lucky that I met His Holiness, because there are other precious Rinpoches, spiritual masters, who teach only the people who are one level below them. But His Holiness teaches us directly, and that makes me very lucky.
His Holiness's trick, as he calls it himself, to teach groups of nuns separately from monks. The monks must then go to the nuns to learn certain ancient wisdoms. In return, responsibilities.
For the council, is everything going well?
Everything is going well. We are painting the nunnery, and there are some parts of the building where the color had faded. We are painting that too.
Is that so? Tell me, will the nuns really be able to finish the preparations before the council?
One day it was raining, so it disrupted our work, but the rest is going fine. By the 15th of July, we think we'll be able to finish all the work.
It was raining there. Well, it was raining here as well.
50 kilometers away, Chemday. This is where Kunzang's father lives, with his wife, Tashi Yuron, and 2 daughters. It's a village mostly of farmers, not rich, but not destitute. At first, Kunzang's decision came as a shock.
She never asked us. That time we were in the town of Leh and she was at home. She ran away from this home to His Holiness's place to become a nun. In the beginning, I was very upset because she is the eldest daughter in my family. People were saying, "Why did you let your eldest daughter become a nun?"
Home's just a short drive from the Hennis monastery. And Kunzang's taken the chance to visit. It's a time that the family looks forward to. Kunzang's assured and confident. Everyone else here still remembering her surprise departure.
When I was a child, I always wanted to become a nun. I didn't ask my parents about it. After 9 years of school, I ran away to become one. I lied to my father that I'm just going to visit His Holiness. I didn't tell my father that I wanted to become a nun.
That's all in the past. Kunzang soon sitting next to Dad. Her family welcomes girls becoming students, doctors, policewomen, even nuns. But many other families still have problems.
Girls often comes to me to be accepted as a nun with a great deal of sufferings. They have sufferings within their own family, and also their lifestyle is. And especially in our culture, or in the Himalayan region, or maybe not only Himalayan region, I think in everywhere in the world, the women little bit looked down, you know.
Kunzang and her friends drive back through the dry Ladakh landscape. Tomorrow morning, the dragon dance. It's time for the Drukpa nuns to prove they can do it. If they stumble or fall, or are just unlucky, it could be the last dragon dance the nuns attempt. The dragon must move like a serpent. Body and head in one sinuous but shifting rhythm. Letting the dragon touch the ground will be really bad news. The women of Ladakh finally entrusted with ancient crafts and secrets. It's a stunning performance. And the verdict? The Kung Fu master clears the nuns for the council performance later in the month.
In today's dance, the nuns were doing very well. They have been really trying very hard. With this level of performance, and with more practice before the annual Drukpa Council, there'll be a big success.
It's time to reflect.
In the olden times, nuns were not respected much because they were not educated. I mean, they were educated only to some extent. But now His Holiness himself is taking the responsibility to educate the nuns. So in terms of our level of education, the nuns are now on an equal level with the monks.
Kung Fu, the dragon dance, after centuries, the first steps out of the shadows. To the Drukpa nuns, the path ahead now seems without limits. To find out more about the Kung Fu nuns and the Drukpa lineage, visit our website, tve.org/lifeonline.